All right, so today we're diving into a narrative that is it's all high stakes, high drama.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about a world where the most valuable thing is, well, liquid gold. And you have this incredible clash between 2 centuries of pure animal instinct and raw human emotion.
We are definitely dissecting GMMTV's big swing at the supernatural.
The 2025 Thai fantasy BL series, My Golden Blood.
Yeah, and this is more than just another genre show. What you've got here is this fascinating, 12-episode case study in what happens when fan passion meets some narrative flaws.
Right.
So our mission today is to really get under the hood, look at the character psychology, the tropes they use, and the big question, how did the chemistry, the leads, manage to just bulldoze over some pretty major technical issues?
And that all starts with the core conflict. You have Mark, played by Joss Whey. He's this 200-year-old stoic vampire prince.
Duty-bound.
And on the other side, there's Tong, played by Gawin, Caskey, a 20-year-old human who has this irresistible golden blood.
That golden blood is the entire engine of the series, isn't it?
It has to be.
I mean, it's doing 3 jobs at once. It's the source of Mark's predatory instinct, it's what the villain needs for a cure, and in the end, it becomes Tom's own weapon. That's what creates the ticking clock.
And that clock is ticking loudest for Mark, inside his own head. He's fighting this biological command to consume the blood against this brand new feeling of wanting to protect the person who has it.
And that's the whole psychological landscape of the show, really. That instinct versus emotion battle.
Absolutely. To get Mark, you have to understand his backstory, right? He's described as an empty being.
Yeah, for centuries, just the heir to the family going through the motions. That stoicism we see isn't just a personality trait, it's a mask.
A mask for what? The emptiness.
Emptiness and also just constant repression of his true nature. The predator.
So his whole arc is about becoming human again, in a way. He goes from being this detached guardian who sees Tong as, what, precious cargo?
Basically, yeah, a job to do.
To becoming this vulnerable partner who finds a reason to live. I mean, this is a guy who's willing to betray his entire clan for one person.
And it wasn't just one big decision. It was all those little moments.
Yeah.
The panic when Tong gets hurt, the guilt when he almost loses control, that's his real growth.
So if Mark is being rehumanized, Tong's journey is the mirror image. It's all about finding his agency.
Totally. He starts as the classic kid in a bubble.
He literally thinks he has hemophilia.
Right, which was a lie to protect him, to hide the golden blood. So he's this passive victim at the start, and his whole story is about him becoming, as the sources say, fearless and defiant. He stops letting things happen to him.
And starts making his own choices, which, I mean, that leads directly to the finale.
Exactly. It all builds that final massive choice he makes.
But of course, you can't have this drama without the people trying to rip them apart. Let's talk antagonists, starting with Nakan.
Monteduce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark's older relative, and at first, he seems like the standard villains. Cold, opportunistic, just wants power.
But it's not that simple, is it?
No, it's a great reveal, actually. We find out his villainy isn't just greed, it's personal. It's a vendetta against the clan leader, Thara.
Why?
Because years ago she killed the last person who had golden blood. And that person was Nikon's best friend.
So it's not a power grab, it's justice. Or revenge.
It's revenge. It gives him this tragic depth that really works.
And then there's the big bad herself, Thara, the leader, Apasiri Nidifon. She has this serene, almost goddess-like thing going on.
It's the ultimate mask. Her calm maternal act is just covering up this pure narcissistic obsession.
She wants the golden blood for herself.
Desperately. To cure her own sickness and hold on to her power. She's the opposite of Mark and Nikon. There's no growth, just this cold, ruthless drive for self-preservation.
Okay, so that sets the stage. Let's walk through the actual narrative arc. 4 acts.
Right. Episodes 1 to 4, The Awakening. Tong moves to Bangkok for college, and bam, an accident exposes his blood.
And Mark has to step in, forcing them to live together for safety.
And this is where the tropes just kick right in.
Immediately. Cohabitation is BL 101. But here, I think the vampire threat actually makes it feel earned. It's not just for fan service.
It establishes that grumpy sunshine dynamic right away. But it also introduces a problem.
Tongla.
Tong's best friend. He's introduced early, but you can kind of see from a mile away that he's being set up as a future plot device.
A tragic one. Okay, so then we move into episodes 5 to 8. Closeness and escalation.
And the tension just ratchets up. Mark is actively trying to keep his distance to control his instincts.
But Tong just keeps pulling him closer. He's like a magnet.
While all this is happening, The external plot is heating up too.
Mm.
Nukken is making his move against Thara. But the real turning point is episode 8.
The moment where Tong willingly offers Mark his blood.
That's the one. It changes their entire dynamic. They go from predator and prey, or even guardian and ward,
Partners.
to true partners. Tong asserts his agency, and Mark passes the ultimate test. No wonder that episode went to #1 trending in Thailand. The emotional payoff was huge.
But of course, that high doesn't last. Next up, Betrayal and Tragedy, episodes 9 to 11.
And the pacing just accelerates. Thara drops the bomb. Tong's blood loses its power on his 21st birthday. The clock is real.
And then the tragedy hits, Tonkla's death.
Yep.
It creates the distance the plot needs between them, but for me, it felt a little rushed. It felt more like a tool to separate them before the finale than a genuinely earned emotional blow.
That's a very common critique. The structural unevenness. And right after that, in episode 11, Thara's mask comes off completely. She reveals she's planning to kill Tong to take his blood. The benevolent leader is gone.
Before we hit that finale, we have to touch on the tropes again, because this show wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel, but it used the old ones so effectively.
Absolutely. Grumpy ex-Sunshine is a staple, but Joss and Gawin's chemistry just supercharged it. Then you have bodyguard turned lover, forbidden romance.
All the classics. I thought the smartest adaptation they made for the setting was letting the vampires walk in the sun.
Oh, that was crucial. It opens up the whole city and prevents it from being just a bunch of night scenes.
And the sensory details they used?
The symbolism of the golden blood itself, representing royalty and holiness. It's a beautiful irony, given how savagely people are hunting it.
And that one scene, that specific moment where Mark drinks the blood from Tong's finger.
To stop other vampires from smelling it.
It's just peak vampire drama. It's protection and predation all in one single incredibly tense action.
For sure. So all of this, the character arcs, the tropes, the deadlines, it all just explodes in the finale.
Which brings us to the resolution and the very polarized reception.
Episode 12, Sacrifice and Eternal Bonds. In the big climax, Mark has to fight Thara. And to win,
He has to do the one thing he's been fighting against the entire series.
he has to drink Tong's blood.
But the key here is that it's not a failure, it's a choice, a victory. He turns the curse into a weapon.
Exactly. He embraces it on his own terms to get the power he needs to protect Tong.
And in that same fight, Nukken completes his arc. He goes from villain to ally, and then sacrifices himself to make sure Thara is defeated for good.
A messy but satisfying end for his revenge story.
But the real emotional core of the finale is Tong's final choice.
He chooses to become a vampire. It isn't forced on him. He decides.
That's the ultimate moment of agency we were talking about. He goes from the vulnerable human to an immortal equal. He takes control of his own destiny to be with Mark forever.
And yet, despite that satisfying ending for the couple, the show got a wildly mixed reception.
Let's unpack that paradox. The fans loved it.
Overwhelmingly. And it really came down to one thing. The insane chemistry between Joss and Gawin.
You could not deny it.
Fans said it felt natural, mature, especially in more intimate scenes. The NC scenes, like the bathtub scene, felt like they served the story, not just fan service.
They really leaned into that campy, nostalgic vibe, that whole Twilight meets Vampire Diaries feel.
They ate it up. But the critics, and a lot of viewers,
Yeah,
were not as forgiving about the technical side.
the CGI.
The CGI was a big one. It was often called low budget or even unintentionally funny.
That first transformation scene and some of the green screen in the finale. Yeah, it was a little jarring.
And the fight scenes sometimes felt a bit grounded for beings who are supposed to be immortal and superpowered.
There are also complaints about the pacing, right? Filler scenes, underdeveloped subplots. We mentioned Tonkla's death feeling a bit like a plot device.
And Thara being the final villain wasn't exactly a shocking twist for anyone who's seen a vampire story before.
So what's the big takeaway from all this?
I think MGB is a perfect case study. It shows how powerful lead chemistry can be. It can literally override major technical flaws and narrative bumps. The audience's emotional investment in Mark and Tong was just so strong that they were willing to forgive the rest.
The scores really show that, don't they? Ranging from like a 6.8 all the way up to a 9.0 from dedicated fans.
A huge gap. And the ending, while happy for them, left a big political vacuum in the vampire world, which is why there are reports of a second season in development.
For late 2026, I heard.
Yeah, and it'll probably explore Tong's new life as a fledgling vampire and the power struggle that comes after Thara's death.
So to wrap up, the central conflict was instinct versus love. And it was resolved when Tong chose to leave his mortality behind for an eternal life with Mark. Which leaves a really interesting question for you, the listener, to think about. When a character chooses immortality and equality to sustain a relationship, what does that choice imply about the limits or strength of a bond constrained purely by human time?
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next one.